In this video clip, we'll be looking at the method addRocks. That's in assessment 7B. And what we are going to do with addRocks is to place rocks in the bottom of the world in these positions. That's what the question asks you to place 4 rocks at the bottom of the world. And I've written the coordinates. Always when you're given a question like this, write the coordinates so you know what kind of numbers you're looking for. And then you can see the change. When you want to create a loop, you can see from these coordinates 2, 7, 3, 7, 4, 7, 5, 7, which coordinate is changing. That's the x coordinate is changing. And what is happening with the x coordinate? First time it's 2, second time it's 3, next time 4 and 5. So it's incremented by 1. And the y coordinate stays the same. So therefore, we can use a loop. And in fact, the best one for this is a for loop. But because the question asks you to do it using a while loop, because we wanted you to learn all the loops, so we've asked you to do a while loop. And so we're going to do this using a while loop. And what is the initial value of the x coordinate we need to set it at? This, according to this, it's 2. And then within the while loop, we can place 1 rock and then increment the x coordinate by 1 and go on and place the next rock and increment it by 1, place the next rock, and so on. But when it reaches 5, you still go in and place the last rock when it's 5, and then when it becomes 6, we don't want it to go back to the loop. We want to exit the loop once it becomes 6. So let's write the loop for that. First, the method addRocks. The very first thing we do is always the documentation, and we can say addRocks places 4 rocks at the bottom of the world. Again, now we just need 2 variables. In fact, we probably only can use 1 for this one because y coordinate is not changing. We can use it as a constant, or we can just place 7 in. Okay, so int x, and we can make it, if you want to make the y coordinate a constant, we can say final int y, set it to 7, because within this method, y stays the same because we want the rocks to be always in that bottom row. That's why I've made it a constant here. Okay, and let's do the while loop. We want to initialize x to start at 2, and then we will have the while loop. We are allowed to enter the while loop as long as x is less than or equal to. When do we want to finish? We want to finish it at 5. Right, let's have a look at that again. This is it, 5. When x is 5, that's the last time we want to go into the loop. So we will say as long as x is less than 5, we can enter the loop and do the following. What do we have to do? Place the rock, which is addRock. I'm sorry, addObject, new rock, and the x and the y coordinates. X is starting at 2, and y, we will place 5, and it will still be always 7. And after placing the rock in the coordinate 2, 7, we need to increment x by 1. So we will say x is equal to x plus 1. Now notice always some people still seem to get confused with this. We are having on the left side the variable that you want to change. The variable that the value on the right side gets assigned into this. So we calculate the total in here, whatever the formula, carry that out, and then the result gets stored into the variable that's on the left. And and we always use the single equal sign when we are assigning. This is called assignment. And the other one, like here, is comparison, double equal. That's comparing, is x1 equal to 2. Alright, so now, and then that's all we do in the while loop. And we can even write a comment, as long as x is less than or equal to 5, enter the loop and place a rock with the new x coordinate. Okay, and that's all we have to do in this. Just to remind you that it is nice to put that this is the end of the method addRock, end of addRocks. Okay, and this one was a simple one. Now we can compile, see if there's any syntax errors. No syntax errors, and we will run it.